What's good, everybody? It's the Clown with Cab Show. Look, I know a lot of people are really upset with Floyd Money Mayweather, aka Pretty Boy Floyd, and I think a lot of people don't like Floyd Mayweather simply because of one thing. Jealousy. They're jealous of Floyd Mayweather. They're jealous of what he does. They're jealous of how much he makes year in and year out. They're jealous of his lifestyle. They're jealous of what he has. I mean, let's be real here. They're jealous that he has a better house, he has better cars than people, he has better boats than people, he has better looking women than people. Look, we're just calling it how it is. Floyd Mayweather lives the American dream, what we sort of call the American dream, right? Coming from nothing to something, being able to do what you want to do. Floyd Mayweather's his own boss. He doesn't answer to anybody. Whereas some of these athletes we see, they answer to others. Floyd Mayweather, he answers to himself. Like he answers to him. He's his own boss. So to me, I think that's why Floyd Mayweather is such an icon right now. And he's so famous because, not just because he's great in boxing ring, because what he does outside the ring as well. He's a businessman. He's a smart businessman. He knows investments. Really, though. And people, they can talk all they want about Floyd Mayweather. He's still going to make, a lot of money, and just continue to make more money than everybody else, really. And that's Floyd Money Mayweather. Yeah, and the thing is, and a lot of people are like, was this a setup between him and Jake Paul? That little brawl they got when Jake Paul took his hat, got your hat. It was just so childish. It was just like back in high school days. It was like, really? Are we back in high school now? It was just like, are they really trying to sell the fight more? What's the basis of that, of the brawl? A lot of people are speculating, saying it was fake. It was fixed. We could say that, whatever. It looked like Floyd Mayweather was really actually pissed off. He was saying, why disrespect me? I've never lost. And we go all the way back to Floyd Mayweather's career. In pro boxing, he has never lost. Knock on wood, Floyd Mayweather, he's a perfect record. The only time he lost was in the Olympics, and even then he won that fight. He got rigged. I don't know what it was in the 96 Olympics in Atlanta. The judges were rigged, and they rigged it for the other guy. And we fast forward to present day 2021, we look at that fight and say, man, look at Mayweather now. Never lost, living the American dream, coming from nothing to something, being a billionaire now. And we go look at that guy, he's living off the government, kind of homeless now. The guy who beat him in 96 in the Olympics. To me, it's crazy, right? Crazy how the outcomes came. But Floyd Mayweather, look, and I understand why people hate him. A lot of, like I said, the main reason is jealousy. We can put that in there. People are just jealous of him. They're jealous of his life, what he does. But I think another reason is he rubs people the wrong way. When I say that is, a lot of people who are humble, Floyd Mayweather, he likes to flaunt his stuff. He likes to flaunt his money, his jewelry in front of you. He lets you know. And I'm not dogging him for that. That's him. You know what I'm saying? Every human's different. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'd be different for somebody who was born rich and did these type of things, and we could call him ignorant, but, we have to understand Floyd's beginning and where he started from, to where he's at right now. We're talking Floyd Mayweather. He won 16 straight fights against world champions. 16 straight. He is the only fighter to beat 23 world champions in his career. 23, dude. 23 world champions. No other fighter's done that in boxing history except Floyd Mayweather. Let's just appreciate greatness. I feel like people hate on Floyd more than they hate on LeBron. And that's kind of saying something, right? That is saying something. And so many people hate on LeBron, dude. Really? It's just like, why? But so many people hate on Floyd. 23 world champions he's beat, dude, in his career. 23. And a lot of people are like, well, what are the chances of Logan Paul beating Floyd Money Mayweather? Yes, every puncher has a shot, okay? I'm not gonna say, oh, he has no shot. Yes, he has a shot, because Jake Paul, he likes to throw haymakers. But we're talking about Floyd Mayweather here, the best defensive counter boxer in the world, dude, to ever live. So you don't think he's seen haymakers before from Shane Mosley? That fight against Shane Mosley. Shane Mosley pieced him up in the second round. Really, the only time we saw Floyd Money Mayweather kind of like, oh man, he's dangling a little bit. His legs almost gave out. But what happened? Floyd Mayweather bounced from the adversity and won that fight, and he became, he's champion, multi-champion. And he overcomes the adversity and all the talk, and Logan could say what he wants. I'll give him a chance. I'll give him a 1% chance. Really. Yeah, seriously, I'll give him a 1% chance. It's not going to happen. We're talking to Floyd Mayweather here. He's been born and raised to box. Logan Paul, he just got into boxing, dude. It's going to be embarrassing. It really is. Floyd Mayweather, this is what he's going to do against Logan. He's going to wear him down. He's going to have Logan come out in the first couple rounds, get him a little tired. Then he's going to do kind of what he did to McGregor. And I think McGregor is probably a better fight than Logan was. But to me, he's going to bring him out to the deep end. And then once Logan gets a little fatigued, I get it. He's a young buck. So is McGregor. McGregor's a young buck compared to Mayweather. Brought him out in the 10th round, late rounds. But I could even see Mayweather maybe even getting him before that, before those late rounds, and saying, you know what, I'm running through this kid. It's crazy. I mean, disrespected Mayweather like that in his own realm. We have to understand Mayweather, his drug is the gym, dude. That's his drug. His drug is in the gym. You can't be hard work like that. That's his drug. That's his morphine. In the gym, getting better every single day. And it's like people are like, oh, he's been in retirement. But it's like, oh, he's never boxed. It's not like Floyd's in there practicing getting better in his retirement. Come on. Floyd's still healthy. He still looks good. He's 44 now. To me, we're talking, he hasn't taken a lot of beating being a boxer. Look at his career, and I kind of compare Mayweather's career kind of like Tom Brady's career. Goats in their own realm. Really though, I'm serious, dude. Those two type of athletes, like Tom Brady, Floyd Money Mayweather, and LeBron, those type of athletes, Tiger Woods, trendsetters. We'll look back on generations, thousands of years from now, and they'll point some of those names that I just named off out. They will. But for Floyd, it's just like this fight coming in against Logan, this is a dog walk for him. This is another easy $100 million where Floyd's saying, all right, write the check. I'll show up on June 6th and beat this dude's ass. And he even said he's going to knock him out. But I hope, props off to Logan to getting this fight. He's 0-1 in his professional career, hasn't even won a professional fight. So what makes you think he's going to be the GOAT in Floyd Mayweather, who's never lost? Over 50 fights, never lost in pro. Seriously, but I do believe Floyd Money Mayweather's hardest fight was against Luis Castillo back in, I believe, 01 or 02. I mean, the first fight against them two, they fought twice. Floyd won them both, but I think the first one, really, Castillo was really giving them, dude. He really was. That was Floyd's toughest fight. I really do think that. And that was years ago. Against Manny Pacquiao. He ran through him. And I was dumb enough to say, you know what? I think I'm going to go Manny Pacquiao in this fight. But now if it was in 2010, I bet I definitely would have took Manny Pacquiao. But back in 2015, it was like, why would I even pick Manny Pacquiao against Mayweather? A lot of people did, though. A lot of people fell for that trap. He's been through it all. He beat Madonna, and Madonna's a world champion. He's beat Madonna. Cotto. Dude, he's beat him. Dude, the list goes on and on for Mayweather, okay? We know his story. To me, he's going to go through Paul, and I think, in the future, is he going to fight Logan's brother, which I do think is a better fighter, Jake Paul, for sure. I think Mayweather, he said he wanted to fight them both in the same night. And I really believe Floyd Mayweather. We have to understand, Floyd Mayweather, he knows what his opponents are going to do. That's the difference maker. That's why Floyd is undefeated. He's not undefeated because of luck, because, it just happened. No, he knows what his opponents are going to do. He's a couple steps ahead at least of his opponents every time. Yeah, there's a couple fights where Floyd gets him pieced up. That's boxing. You're going to get hit. But Floyd, he gets hit the less out of any boxer in history. There's a reason for that. He knows what they're going to do. So when Logan Paul goes into the ring with him, you don't think he's going to be a couple steps ahead of this guy? Come on. I think he's going to hit him with a lot of body shots. And to me, that's the weakness right now. Okay, hitting the body. And a lot of people are like, I'd rather get hit in the body than the face. I don't know. If you've never got hit by a clean body shot and it really, takes your breath away, it's not a good feeling. At that time when you're in the fight and you get the wind knocked out of you, you kind of get short breath and you kind of get like, oh man, like I need to breathe. You know what I'm saying? That's the number one thing. I gotta breathe now, or else I'm gonna get really pieced up and knocked out. But I think Mayweather's gonna come in. He's gonna come in like against McGregor in the later rounds. He's gonna come in with his hands up and kind of like feel him out for a couple rounds and then really go forward on him. He's gonna go forward, and we've seen Mayweather do that. Like I said, against McGregor, he went forward. And a lot of the times I understand people are like, oh, stop it. Don't do that. It's just like, come on. Mayweather, he's got the sauce, dude. He really does. He is the guy. Seriously. He is the GOAT of our generation of boxing. And a lot of people would say he's the greatest of all time, which, could be an argument. I would say, guys like Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, and then Mayweather. There's just so many boxing greats, but those, my list, my number one is definitely still Mike Tyson overall. But what Mayweather's done, and I feel like a lot of the times and nowadays in our society with social media and everything, I think a lot of the times it's like, they're throwing hate at Mayweather. And the thing is like, let's hypothetically say Mayweather does lose this fight. They're going to throw Mayweather under the bus. But Mayweather's not going to lose, okay? Let me tell you, Mayweather's going to win this fight. If I was you guys and I was sports betting, I would put everything that Mayweather would win this fight. Why would you bet against Mayweather in this fight? We're talking an undefeated fighter against a fighter who's not won a pro fight. Like, what are we talking here? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is going on? How did this become a thing? I feel like, if anything, I thought the fight was, Mayweather, maybe Canelo round 2. Or even Jake Paul, dude. Like, seriously, have him box a real freaking fighter. Have him get in the ring with somebody real. Somebody who's really gonna fight, dude. Seriously. But Mayweather, it makes sense, dude. I mean, people, it boils down to jealousy. And people can hate his personality. They can say he's arrogant, ignorant, cocky, this and that. But look, to be a superstar athlete, you kind of have to be a little over arrogant, right? You kind of have to be cocky. There's a difference between cocky and confident, no doubt. I would say Mayweather's a little bit overconfident, no doubt. So it's McGregor. We could say that about them. A lot of high egos. But like Mike Tyson said, you will get humbled in this sport eventually. But, but my whole thing is Mayweather, he needs to go in smart here. He needs to come in hungry and come in ready for this fight. He needs to embarrass Logan Paul in a fashion way, which I do think he will. Like I said, I think in the later rounds, in the 4th and 5th round, when Jake Paul's really breathing, or Logan Paul's really breathing heavy, that's when we're going to see Mayweather throw those body shots, just mix it up a little bit, hit him with a couple pieces, and I think, eventually Logan will go down. He will. Now if Logan does the impossible and win, hats off to Logan, dude. I never would have saw it coming. Be the biggest upset in sports history. Maybe bigger than Appalachian State beating Michigan in college football back in 2008 or 2007, somewhere around that era. Like, it would be crazy like that. But to me, Mayweather, he put in what he got, right? Mayweather loves the gym. That's his drug, and he continues to do that. And Floyd Mayweather continues to elevate different heights. I'm serious. And my whole thing is like, in Mayweather's life, he doesn't have to do this. He doesn't have to fight anymore. I'm thinking, why, Mayweather? Why do you need to fight? Why do you need to do this? Like, what's it for? But to him, the money, it makes sense. $100 million for an easy fight for Mayweather? He's probably looking at it. He woke up one day and was like, man, I can make $100 million to beat this kid, to beat this YouTube star. It made that to me. It was like, for Mayweather, it makes sense. If it makes dollars, it makes sense. So to me, 100%, I can see Mayweather fighting a couple more expeditions, a couple $100 million there, a couple $100 million there. 100%, I think Mayweather, he can do that, and he will continue to do that. I think after this fight, he can fight Jake, in the next couple months, and then make another $100 extra million, or however it is, and then retire the Paul brothers from fighting forever. If they end up fighting Mayweather. Mayweather, this is what he does, dude. This is his life. So to me, for Logan, yes, he, it takes some heart to go in there against Floyd Money Mayweather. But we have to understand, this is his realm. This is what he's done for his whole life, dude. He was born for this. He's trained for this yearly. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't make sense on Logan's side to do it. Obviously for Logan, he has nothing to lose. That's one thing about Logan in this fight. He has nothing to lose. He's never won a pro fight. The only thing he's mainly gonna win is money. He's gonna earn a lot of money in this fight. Win or lose. So Logan, he has literally no pressure on him. No doubt about it. He could look embarrassing. He's not gonna care. He's gonna make who knows how much. At least a couple million, at least, dude. If Mayweather's making $100 million in this fight, we could say, Jake's or Logan's definitely gonna make like 20 mil. I don't know. I just threw a random number, but something like in that ballpark, right? So to me, it makes sense. But for Floyd, for getting in that brawl, it was kind of petty. The way they did it. They orchestrated. Was it set up? Who knows? But my thing is like, for Mayweather, it's like to him to go to the elevate. I really thought, did he play his cards right during this brawl? And to me, it was like, I don't know. He did disrespect him. He took Mayweather. I just thought, I don't know. Was it a setup? I don't know. It kind of looked like it at first. And then after a while, didn't look like a setup. But, it's going to sell more tickets. It's definitely smart for fights, right? To sell those tickets. We know Logan's brother, he's banned from that place. So he can't even go there to watch his brother fight Mayweather. He's banned. So to me, was the hat worth it? Probably. It was probably a money move on that aspect, on their part, on the Paul's part. But for Floyd, I feel like it woke him. Money Mayweather all day. It's the Cloud with Cap show. Let's go.